Do you know how to build a civilization? Do I know how to build a civilization? Do we know how to build a civilization? I don't know. I don't think so. Do humans know how to build the perfect civilization? These are so many questions, and we have the perfect way to determine this. Actually, we don't, because humans are so different that nobody really knows what civilization would be the best for them. But they all live in a civilization, and then within the civilization you build a society, because we all live in a society. So, how many civilizations actually are good civilizations? And how do we determine which civilizations are good civilizations? Do we simply pick a civilization and then go into that civilization? Or is it determined through settling another civilization? Or maybe do we conquer that civilization and build a new civilization? Or should we just produce more to become a better civilization? Or do we want to make more money or build more food, have more agriculture? Does that determine a good civilization? What determines a bad civilization, though? Is it bad if a civilization starves? Probably, yeah. That's pretty good. Yeah. You probably shouldn't starve your civilization to death. But would some determine that that's a good civilization? Maybe. How do you know? How do I know? How do we know? Do people actually want to live in a good civilization, though? That's the real thing we have to determine. Because in order to determine this, we must be able to figure out which civilization in the world today is a good civilization. Or are we still waiting on the best civilization? Maybe a Carter civilization, maybe a tier 1 civilization. What if it's a tier 2 civilization? Or maybe we have the entire universe, like the Star Wars universe, and we're a type 3 civilization. Is that determined to be a good civilization? Do we need a light and a dark side to be a good civilization? Or do we only need a good side for civilization? But who determines good from bad? And who determines bad from good? Does God do this? Or do humans do this? Or do monkeys do this? I don't know. But that's for you to figure out, and me to ask the question. Because I ask the questions that nobody wants to ask. That's right. That is correct. We don't know what civilization we actually want. Because humans are fickle creatures. And we're built on whims and freedom. And you have the freedom in America to do a lot of things. And this makes a lot of people in America very happy. However, it makes a lot of people in America very sad. Because they don't want freedom. But since the civilization is built on freedom, it's probably not going to go away very soon. However, some civilizations are built not on freedom, but on traditionalism or collectivism. These are different civilizations than America. They have different values. And who's to say they're wrong? But who's to say they're right? Is it the overlord that says they're correct? Or is it the people who say it's correct? Who knows? I mean, do you really want to live and be forced to live in a civilization that doesn't determine your values? Or do you want to live in a civilization that fits your values? If you have different values than the society that you live in, or if you have different values than the society you want to live in, why don't you just travel to a society that fits your needs? Or why don't you change that society you live in into a different society that fits your needs? I don't know. Who's to determine if this is the right path or if this is the wrong path? Who is to determine? How many civilizations are there for the infinite amount of people in this world and the infinite amount of ideas that could be had every day? You see, people's values always change, or sometimes change, or maybe they never change. But most people do have some sort of values, whether they were determined by birth, their parents, or themselves. Maybe genetically they want to live in a free society, but their parents want them to live in a collective society. Who's to say that's a bad thing? Who's to say that's the right thing? I don't know. I really do not know. However, I know one thing's for sure. Not all civilizations are going to be built on love. Some are going to be built on greed. Some are going to be built on slavery. Some are going to be built on death. Some may starve you to death. Some may allow you to thrive to the beginning of time, to the end of time. Some will oppress you. Some of them will not oppress you. Some of them want you to work. Some of them don't want you to work. Some of them want you to be free. Some of them don't want you to be free. So many different values, you see. Sometimes, if you want to be who you want to be, you have to go find the people who are like you. And in order to find those people who are like you, you gotta do some inner soul searching. And figure out, who am I? Who are you? Who am I? Who are we? And where can we be? How do we build a society? How do we build a civilization that fits everybody's needs? Is that even possible? Or is that improbable? Is it impossible? These questions have to be asked. Because if not everybody can live in the same civilization as everybody else, then why should we, all the people of Earth, make them live in this society, even though they don't want to live in this society? Maybe we should allow them free passage to a different society. Maybe we should allow our civilization to transform into another civilization. Or, if we transform a civilization, is it still the same civilization, or is it a different civilization? These are so many questions, but there are so many answers, because everybody is different. The trees are different, the grass is different, the gods are different. The world is different. Actually, no, the world is still the same. It's still Earth, because we are not a two-planet species. But in order to determine where and when and why and who is a civilization and who wants to live in it, where they want to live in it, why they want to live in it, we will never know if it's the right civilization. Because the right civilization may not exist today, but it might exist tomorrow. And these are questions that have to be pondered and rethought and then spoken and then put into earth. Because this is the way of the world. The way of the world is the way of the universe. And the universe wants us to go out in the stars with the best civilization possible, so that we can colonize all the stars, and then use all the stars to find more black holes and more people and more aliens, and then intermingle with the aliens, and then, make a different species, and then everybody will be happy. However, will everybody be happy in a star galactic civilization? Or will they not be happy in a star galactic civilization? So many questions, and so little answers. But I am very, very, very intrigued by the answers, because there has to be a way that we can find as humans a civilization that might fit the needs of all people. Even if it doesn't fit the needs of all people, maybe 90% would be good. Maybe 10% would be bad. Maybe everything would be good. Maybe everything would be bad. Because different societies have different values. And then different civilizations are built on different societies. And we live in a society, within a civilization, on top of a world, in a solar system, within a universe that has very many galaxies. But is it within a multiverse? Or is that multiverse within an omniverse? See, these are the questions that make a puny society with different values make it look like a moral quandary that should never exist in the first place. Because these quandaries are so puny in scale compared to the galactic void of the galaxy. Or the multiverse as a whole. I mean, if we're actually going to go into the omniverse, within the multiverse, through the universe, and then into the click like and subscribe button for more stupid videos every day.